Welcome to episode 5 of the Food Circle Business Life podcast. This week it's just myself and James. Hi, James.
Hiya.
And this is the first time we've done it remotely as well, isn't it? So I'm at my house, you're at yours, up in Doncaster. I'm in Sheffield.
Yeah, it's a weekend job. This we didn't get time last week, did we? So
I was going to say, do you want to explain to the audience why this is the first time we're also doing it on a weekend?
Well, first of all, we've not done one for a while, have we? For various reasons, because we've been really busy trying to basically hire people and scale up the business to the next level and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, the reason for the weekend recording is we actually recorded, didn't we, a whole episode?
Yep.
It's now Sunday. We did it on Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
And we listened back to the whole thing, and because we've got new mics, we didn't quite get the audio set up right, and it was unlistenable. So hopefully it'll sound just as off the cuff and natural as the first time around. But yeah, it's the second time recording it. We were meant to do it on Friday night, but we were absolutely knackered after work, so we didn't get time. And here we are on Sunday, all refreshed and ready to go.
Yeah, it's actually better, this, isn't it? I mean, I don't know if this would work for guests and stuff, but yeah, this is actually a lot better because it means we don't have to worry about stuff at work. Don't have to worry about it. You had to answer the door as well doing that first recording.
Well, who knows? Who knows? Might get an Amazon delivery.
Well, yeah, I suppose so, yeah. Anyway, right, so what we're going to do is people who are listening to this may or may not remember that it's like over a week ago now. We put on our story, our Instagram story, that we put out some questions for you guys to ask us to talk about on the podcast because it is just myself and James this week. So we thought we'd go through those, James.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure that we'll go off on tangents here, there and everywhere. But yeah, thank you for everyone that sent the question to us.
Yes, thank you very much. We try and get through all of them. We asked them on our Instagram. I also asked on at Paul Food Circle, so I've got some off there. I'm gonna kick off. Yes, at Paul Food Circle on Instagram, and also at James Food Circle as well. Thank you.
Yeah, not been active enough lately, but anyway, I'll try and bring that back.
Busy, aren't we?
Indeed.
So
okay.
So the first one is really good. Actually, it's probably my favourite one. Sorry to be biased and unfair of anybody else, but hey, at get.fitwithkelly on Instagram.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly. This is a good one. What's the first thing, I'm putting this to you, James, first. What's the first thing you're going to do when the world is normal again?
Oh, well, for me, it's a case of just think of everything that you miss about, not being able to do normal things now. And, I'll caveat this with touch wood, fit and healthy and not had an encounter with COVID at this point, and family are well and all that stuff, which is all good. So I'm not sort of complaining in any way, but there are things that you miss. Going to football, being a big one. I'm sure it's the same for you as well.
Yeah.
Going to restaurants, going to watch films, going to the gym actually at the minute because that's closed, and I can feel myself getting more and more sort of out of shape and out of fitness as the weeks go by. Not that that's an excuse really, because I should just find another way to work out. But so all those sort of things, usual stuff really, and obviously being able to see people as normal and all that kind of thing. It's just not been ideal. And actually, business-wise, it's not been ideal either because it's kind of, whilst we've grown a lot during this pandemic, it's kind of hindered us a little bit in terms of being able to have meetings and see people. And, we're trying to grow our team, and it's sort of hindered interviewing and all that sort of stuff as well. So, I'd just be glad to be able to, not have to treat everybody as if they've got virus.
So what's the first thing you're going to do, though, when it goes back to normal?
That's a good point. Sorry, a bit of a long-winded answer there.
No, it was a good answer.
The first thing I want to do is book some sort of trip or holiday or something like that. And I know that's quite a privileged thing to say, but I do miss being able to get away every now and again. So I think as soon as there's any sort of, there's people that are braver than me who'll be booking holidays and trips and stuff now, but I think as soon as we know that kind of it's going to be allowed and it's going to be safe, I think that's one of the first things that I'm going to look to do. What about you?
Yeah, no, all the above. But first thing, yeah. So obviously, not obviously, people don't know. My missus from Dublin. We haven't seen her family since last February, almost a year to the day actually. So go there, but I can't say go to the pub before that, can I? Because I'll get in trouble. So go. Book a
You
trip
just said it now.
to Dublin. Go to the pub with my mates. Go to the match. All of those three.
Yeah, but what's the first thing?
Thing I'm gonna do? Well, I think first thing I'm gonna do, probably book a trip. I agree. It's grim, isn't it? Being able to, we lost a year of our lives, basically. Everyone has.
Yeah,
I think it's grim.
I think it's probably. I'm not going to say that it's affecting one group more than any other, but I do feel sorry for people that are starting out at university and stuff like that. You know, people who are sort of having their freedom taken away from that. Really.
Yeah, people that live alone and stuff. That there's people that like you know, and I know that going to the match and stuff is their life. They go to the pub before the match, meeting with their friends, and then that's everything. And you know, that must be just grim. So we're very fortunate, but it's
a really good point as well. People that are isolated, living alone. You know, the elderly that maybe have had company and had people coming to see them and stuff like that, and maybe can't get out as easily as everybody else and stuff like that. Yeah, it's not been good. But anyway,
good time to start a business though, if that's what people want to do. Listening to this, I'd say.
Yeah, well, if you've got free time, especially if you're getting paid during that free time, and you've got no financial worries, and you're able to save a little bit from not going out and being as social as you were before.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd say it's a very good time.
100%.
Definitely.
Especially in e-commerce. So thank you, Kelly. Was it? Thank you, Kelly. So next question. At Fitties Eats, Fitty Eats, FITI.
Hopefully we're getting that right.
Z Eats. Excuse me. What do you do with products that don't sell beyond best before dates?
Okay. Do you want to start on that one?
No, yeah. It's becoming like Parkinson, this, isn't it? Me interviewing you. So good question. Basically, so people will know already that we donate stock to the Real Junk Food Project. It was an amazing social enterprise up in Leeds. So it's sort of like a food bank set up, but they sort of run other like things as well, don't they? Events and support. What's the word I'm looking for?
They cater for other organizations as well.
So we donate to them. We actually sometimes people will notice that I think the world is opening up to buying best before date products and eating, consuming past best before date. There's a lot of work going on that we're very we've got our finger on the pulse with, basically, in the industry, where people are being encouraged to eat past best before date products. Organizations like Approved Food, we were speaking to the owner next week, have been doing that for years. Too Good To Go are doing a campaign at the moment with a lot of the brands that we work with, where it's actually, there's going to be a little thing on the packet of products. It's going to say something like, I think it's smell it, taste it, don't waste it, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we're going to get behind that as well, and we might start selling we might have a page on the website that's past best before date. That might be something coming in 2021. We need to think about it and speak to a few people about it. But I think there's becoming more of an acceptance of it, which is a good thing, because it means there's going to be less waste. It's ridiculous that a biscuit hits best before date and people don't eat it. It's we're going to do more content on it, actually, and compare and contrast the same product past best before date compared to the same product that's got 3 months left, and see if you can should we do a blind taste test?
Yeah, we should. That'd be a good idea. That, I think that'd probably work well on TikTok as well.
Yeah,
which we're trying to focus on. But yeah, I think it's probably quite a good opportunity. I mean, a lot of people will know already, but best before dates and use by dates. Number one, like, people have wildly kind of varying different attitudes to it. So in our customer base, we've got people that are right over at one end of the spectrum of If its date is the 26th of February and now it's the 27th, they won't eat it anymore.
No.
And they feel like it needs to be thrown away. And then at the other end of the spectrum, we've got people who will buy stuff that's got a day's life on it or is on the day and will receive it a couple of days after when it gets delivered to them, and they'll be fine with it and they'll just eat it at their own pace whenever. And then we've probably got people in between as well who are a little bit more wary and will probably be a little bit conscious of it. But I think for anybody that's not kind of well versed on it, which might not be many people, but it's worth saying. Obviously, use by dates. I'm not saying eat beyond use by date. Don't do that because it's often a food safety issue. But best before dates are a quality measure recommended by manufacturers and retailers. And when a product is past its best before date, it doesn't mean that the safety is compromised in any way. It could do if it's years and years past, but a few days or even a few months, there's no safety issue whatsoever. But you might see the quality start to change. So it's an important distinction, I think, and by people knowing that, I think it would help, to save a lot of food waste in households as well.
Yeah, I can see the future of it changing. I can see it being the name changing for best before date, or best before end. It's called, isn't it, on the pack? Yeah, I'd definitely predict something like that happening in the next 10 years or something.
And I can see retailers, big normal retailers getting more on board with that as well. They've got yellow sticker sections now for things that are short dated, but I think there's because there's so much more of a focus on food waste, I think that we will start to see retailers probably have another section that's kind of well kind of messaged, sort of thing that says these products might be past the date by a few days or a few weeks, depending on what it is, or bread that's like out of date yesterday or whatever. Take it home and freeze it, or take it home and store it in the right way, and it'll be fine, type thing.
I don't think they do enough, the retail. We've been saying this for years. I remember saying this at a wrap conference, like 5 years ago. It's like that yellow sticker stuff just makes it look crap. It makes you straight away think, oh, it's bad quality. I buy when I buy chicken from Aldi, like the cooked chicken that you put in wraps and stuff. It says like 30% off on it because it's like tomorrow's date or something. Which I think probably puts people off, if anything.
Yeah, I think quite often those sections aren't very well presented, and it's probably something that retailers, if there's more of a focus on it, they might start to correct that, because quite often if it's got a yellow sticker on it, it also looks a bit bashed or a bit kind of packaging doesn't look that nice, or someone's like tried to open it or whatever. So I think, there might still be that, but I think there might be. I mean, obviously we've seen supermarkets start to sell like wonky fruit and veg, and that's branded up as normal, and the pack looks pristine, but it just says the word wonky on it. And I think we might see more of a kind of shift towards better presentation of yellow sticker and short dated and possibly past best before dates, because it's people are more and more aware of it and more savvy, I think. And there's people out there, there's social media accounts and stuff like that where people they only buy that stuff and they make meals out of whatever they can find in yellow sticker aisles and stuff like that, and they total up what they've saved and all that sort of thing, which is becoming more and more of a movement, I think.
Shout out to Reduction Raider.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant. It is actually brilliant, to be fair. It's amazing.
We've been a long time follower, haven't we?
Yeah. No, she might get on the podcast, actually. That'll be good, wouldn't it? So you're going to start seeing people start seeing more content from us on that as well, I think. I think that's coming.
Definitely.
So keep your eyes peeled on that. So next question.
Okay.
Next question is from Bright Aditya.
Yep.
I don't know if that's his name. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. So it's Bright Aditya, all one word, at Bright Aditya on Instagram. What made you start this wonderful business? That's nice. That's a nice question. Thank you.
That's a very nice comment. Yeah, thank you, Bright.
So James and I started this business. What made you start it?
I think you're probably the best place to start off on this, because it started from you, didn't it, really?
Yeah, in a way. So basically, James and I were working together at a place called Company Shop Limited, who are a surplus food retailer and a bloody brilliant one at that. We were working there from 2014 to 2017.
Yeah.
About two and a bit years in, I started to want to start a business, basically, naturally. Started thinking of ideas and what to do. I wanted to do e-commerce, thought that was a way forward, and saw that there was an opportunity in surplus food, basically, inspired by the model at Company Shop, obviously. Well, to be fair, before that, I was trying to think of what to do, going through, like a lot of people do, trying to think of business ideas all the time and writing them in your notes app and all this sort of stuff. And an idea came to mind, and then thought, well, it's actually, the opportunity is probably staring straight in front of me at work every day. I think this is, I'm good at this. I'm good at being able to find surplus opportunities and working with brands and selling a service. So why not just do a little spin on it? And I saw that, well, initially the business was going to be a wholesale business, like a middleman. Like we buy stock from, I don't know, a brand in bulk and then sell it abroad to a retailer or something like that. And then thought that's really boring, actually, and just a lot. It's just a bit of, there's not much innovation to play with there, is there? And you can't really stand out much. And yeah, I just thought, why not? I was actually driving. A lot of ideas for me come in the car, and I was actually driving from Portsmouth to Sheffield because I used to go to Pompey a lot, and just thought, it just came into my mind, and went, just sell it to people, make a retail out of it, and thought, and then it's like, then the ideas just never leaves your head. People will know this. Anyone that started a business, just like you're just constantly thinking of it, and then all these other things come into your mind, like it could be something where you're not only saving food from going to waste and surplus food, but also you can sell it at a discount, obviously. So therefore you can help people to live healthier for less whilst saving food from going to waste, which I thought that was it. It's just unbelievable. Like, no, you can't really do that anywhere else. And that's why I pitched the idea to you at work.
And it was in line with trends as well, I think, at the time.
Yeah, it was.
The focus on, there's many reasons why we did the focus on kind of health products and dietary need, because we started off doing quite a lot of gluten-free stuff, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I think that came from sort of trends at the time and an interest in it from us, and kind of saw that opportunity to focus on that area that maybe other people in the space weren't as well.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say, by the way, sorry if we've offended anybody that's a wholesaler or a middleman. I don't think you meant it's a boring business, but maybe not something
boring to me.
Not something that lit your
exactly
lit your fire. So the way that I came to it is obviously Paul started to have these ideas and just asked me for my thoughts, basically at work. I think initially sort of started to help you out a bit. We were kicking around ideas, and I think we were in the gym at work because they had an on-site gym at one end of the office. And we ended up having sort of a chat in the car park after a gym session, I think. And
didn't I say, right, I'm leaving? I'm definitely leaving work.
I think we'd been discussing the idea, and I think you said, "Yeah, I'm going for it. I need a co-founder. So would you be interested?" And it was like both an easy and difficult decision for me. Like, I suppose it didn't need any like selling to me, because it really appealed the idea of like starting something new from scratch, being involved in that. But obviously, all the stuff around leaving work, leaving a kind of secure, or what felt like a secure job and a secure paycheck and all that sort of thing, that came into it as well. So I sort of went away and did a bit of thinking for a couple of days, and then it was at that point in time for me, it was too good of a chance to pass up. I didn't want to look back and think that I should have done that and should have been involved in it, and I didn't take that kind of risk. Well, I can really, financially, and in my situation and everything like that. And at my age, I just thought, even if this doesn't work out, it's just a chance that I can't miss.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And anyone who's think of starting a business, I'd highly recommend you do it. It's especially if you're going to start like a retailer or something, you need a co-founder. 100%. That's a piece of advice I got. And yeah, it's so true. You desperately, you really do need one. Imagine, you know how busy we've been, how stressed out we've been. Imagine that just being yourself.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to people that do it, because I don't really know how they do, but I think for me, especially, like my personality type and my strengths and weaknesses and stuff like that, I don't think I'd be able to cover all bases there, you know?
No.
And I think some of the knockbacks that we had in the early days and stuff like that, I think they just might have been too much for one person.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, for me, like, I've got better at it, but taking like harsh criticism, sometimes like, you know, unjustified at times or unfounded, if you like, but you know, that can deter people.
Yeah.
And I think it would have deterred me more if I'd not had somebody else to kind of, you know, to be backed up by and to work with on that. So yeah, I think having a co-founder is a really good idea, unless you feel like you've got to control everything and you've got the kind of range of temperament and skill set to do that. But I don't think many people could take all that on, especially if like a business starts to take off.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I totally agree.
I mean, even when we were like, it just started and we didn't really, you know, we're nowhere near the scale that we are now. We were still busy, you know, because you've got all sorts of ideas. And in any business, when you're doing everything yourself and kind of bootstrapping as we did, there's always like, you know, mundane stuff to be done. There's always loads of stuff to be done in any business. Like, I don't care what business it is. You can't just sort of fly through it. There's always responsibilities. There's always, you know, stuff to be done.
Yes, absolutely. You've got to be prepared. If anyone's about to start their own business that's by themselves, you've got to be prepared for shit to hit the fan, basically, on a weekly basis.
That, I'm sure.
Yeah, we will. So yeah, we'll get onto that. That's probably one of the questions coming up. A question that we had that was from one of my mates who I won't name actually, because you know, he is looking at starting a company, and if you're thinking about starting a business, you want to keep it to yourself, especially in the early days. So I'm not going to mention him, but he asked, he texted me last week saying, why did I choose you? Why did I pick James to start a business with? I've touched on it a little bit. So James and I worked together. Why am I saying James and I? Me and you worked together for 3 years and had a good working relationship. Like, we, you know, did really well in that department. And it's just sort of a natural, nice working relationship. So it just made sense. Like, if you've worked with somebody well and it's been fine, then, you know, why not? So, you know, we've got opposite strengths and weaknesses. What James is good at, really strong at, I'm normally really weak at, and the other way around, just naturally. So I think that sort of helps. Not very hot-headed, so there's no like major arguments or anything. That just doesn't happen, because I think we've both got our head. Well, you've got your head screwed on more than me.
Not sure about that.
So yeah, and just approach things, you know, in a very similar manner sometimes, especially problems and problem solving. So I think you need to. I think if you're looking for a co-founder and they're very similar to you, I think that can be that might get a bit tricky, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, possibly. I think I'm glad we've actually got the chance to redo this in a way, because I've been thinking about this question a little bit.
Good.
And I think because we worked closely together in the same team at work and under the same manager, the same boss, that kind of instilled a certain way of working into us, which was really effective and, you know, based around kind of doing business in the right way. I think that really helped with us.
Yeah, good point. I did
like working together going forward, because, you know, when we were at our previous place, we saw lots of different ways of doing business, but because we were taught this one way, this structure that we had to sort of fall back on, it kind of made, like you said, it made that like problem solving approach kind of easy, if you like, or not easy, but we've always sort of been pretty much more or less on the same page with it, and that's why I don't think we've had any catastrophic kind of divergences in terms of how we think that things should be done.
That's a good point, actually.
And even if we do disagree on sort of minor points, I think within that kind of structure, we've got the same view on it. Yeah, I think even if we have like tactical kind of maybe disagreements or think that things should be done in a slightly different way, I think it's in this same like mindset and this same framework. So it never becomes like we're never too far away, basically, never too far apart. So I think it's quite easy to resolve. And I'm open-minded to different ways of doing things and different ideas, and I think you are as well. So usually it's not a case of, oh no, that's not going to work. It's a case of let's just try it, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's fine.
Yeah, it's absolutely. There's got to be a bit of give and take there, wasn't there? Which is the same in partnerships in all walks of life, really, if you think about it.
Well, I mean, another thing. How many times have you seen at work, and we saw it in our old place, where you'd come up with an idea, or someone would suggest something, and it'd get kind of shot down.
Yeah, all the time.
That's just not a way to progress, I don't think. No. Saying we'd tried this 10, 15 years ago and it didn't work or whatever, or just one person's opinion against another.
Exactly.
Who knows? Like, I think we've been surprised by some things that have worked in our business.
Yeah.
You might think, oh, that sounds like a daft idea, and then you try it and it's like doing a podcast. No. And then you try and it works really well. So yeah. Good question, though.
Yeah, it was a really good question. That actually, thank you, my friend.
Thanks to Jerry, not his real name.
Yeah. Thanks, Jerry. So we've had, because you'll have finally edited this like a professional. Nobody will be able to tell, but we actually we cut out because James basically lives in the middle of nowhere. I won't say where James lives, but so obviously he's struggling with his. To
be honest, our Wi-Fi never just goes off like that, like very rarely, but it would do typically in the middle of a podcast recording, wouldn't it?
Exactly. Right. So I'm getting up another question from the same. Oh, I remember it now. So it's the same friend. He said, "What's been your lowest point so far and stop running your business?" Oh
my God. Well, we've kind of had a sneak preview of each other's answers for this, haven't we? Because we've already tried to record this once, but there's a couple that stick out in my mind. The obvious one being our first website, just as we started to get some traction, and I'm doing sort of air quotes for those that are watching, but for those that are not watching. But what I mean by traction is we started to actually get a few orders from people that we don't know, because the first couple of months it was just family and friends ordering from us, probably out of sympathy more than anything. But yeah, we just started to kind of get somewhere, really. And I remember where we were actually. We were in the gym group. Shout out to the gym group in Sheffield, doing like promotional kind of stand, if you like selling products in there, giving out leaflets, stuff like that, to try and get people interested, basically. And we were getting, I think we had like maybe 3 or 4 orders that evening, and they had no information with them whatsoever. And I think people were being charged as well.
I remember that. Oh, God, yeah.
And so we had no way of contacting them. We had no way of sending it out because we didn't have any contact details, address details, anything like that. We just had an order there with payment, I think, and nothing else. So it felt like the world had sort of caved in at that point, because we had to put something out, I think, on Facebook and Instagram and stuff to say, if you've ordered from us tonight, like in the last 3 hours, please email us or whatever, because we've our website's basically had a nightmare. And that was a low point, because you just start to think we've blown it. Like we've got a few customers now, and we've messed up our first kind of chance to impress them, if you like. Not that it was our fault or anything, but thankfully people were very forgiving. And we had to take our website down for a week and start again. And it sounds minor now. Looking back, we can kind of like laugh at it a bit, but at the time that just felt like we'd had a really slow start, probably slower than we expected, although we didn't expect things to take off overnight. But just as we were starting to get somewhere, and for things to kind of go that badly wrong, just felt like, are we ever gonna get there with it?
Yeah. That was a nightmare.
Yeah. And what did I came
to the rescue?
Yeah, Shopify did come to the rescue. I had another one the other day, but I've completely forgotten now.
Well, I might be able to jog your memory. So, and also just on that, I remember. I think we fixed it. I think we had that. It happened. We were doing that pop-up shop in the gym group. And I think we fixed it because I remember being at Man City away in the Champions League, and
what a night that was, by the way.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
You're a Liverpool fan.
That was a little flex by me. Just
is that when you got a flapjack thrown at you by a City?
No, that was in the league a couple of years ago when they beat us 2-1. That was that 97, 98 point season. Yeah, I remember getting to the ground, and we'd had like a few orders. And I was like buzzing, and I went on it. And I went on the orders, and it said it didn't show any of the details. I was like, oh no. But anyway, so yeah, I'd agree with you on that low point. This isn't really that bad. We've had one quite recently. It's more of an not a major low point, but more of a setback. Is the whole Brexit thing's been a complete nightmare. It really has. So yeah, so we've had to turn off deliveries to Ireland, Republic of Ireland, that is, and the EU, because the couriers just can't do it at the moment. They can't fulfill it. So we've got to wait for them to come back online. I think there is a handful that are on, like DHL and stuff, but honestly, it's like 20 quid to send a parcel there. So it's just not going to happen until our regular service is back underway.
And it's not just that; it's all the extra admin and checks and all that sort of stuff that we're having to do now, which is hampering not just us but couriers and stuff like that as well. So yeah, it's not been an easy one to digest, to be honest, from our point of view, because we've got, thankfully, like the customers that we've got in Ireland have been really understanding and great about it. But it's just not good because we obviously we pride ourselves and we place a really high priority on our customer service. And when you feel like you're kind of letting people down, it's not a good feeling at all, and it does bother you.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Huge setback. And I think another, it's not really a low point, but it's more of a, I tried to tell this anecdote on another episode that we did where the recording went wrong as well, but not a low point, but more of a kind of, you look back and you just think it's crazy what we did. So when we first started, I think we launched in the January 2018, and in the February we went to Nuremberg, didn't we, for a big trade show.
Yeah,
and you know where I'm going with this, don't you?
Yeah.
And we were so low on funds at the time that we I booked as a hotel because we did it all in one day. We flew to Nuremberg first at like 6 a.m. from Stansted, so we were up at like 1 probably. And we flew back that evening, and I just thought we can't drive back up from Stansted to Sheffield. Like having been up for like 24 hours, it's just not healthy. We're gonna end up in an accident or something like that. So I booked as a hotel out of our own money, but we had so little sort of funds to play with at that point that we didn't actually want to bear any costs that we actually didn't need to. So when we flew back from Nuremberg back into Stansted, our hotel was about a mile away, a couple of miles away, down like a dual carriageway with no path. We didn't want to pay for the shuttle bus that took us there from the airport, so we walked along a dual carriageway at sort of, what was it, like midnight, 1 a.m, something like that. In Stansted to get back to our hotel, freezing cold. Walked along kind of like a grassy, muddy verge to get back, and we slept well that night. But just I look back on that story and just think, I don't know what it shows about us, whether we're mad or whether we just had such kind of determination to save every penny that we could and make sure that we were doing the best for the business at that point. But just it's the lengths that you go to, I suppose, when you kind of like don't know how things are going to pan out and you're just trying to save money.
Yeah, I know. It was ridiculous.
Not a low point, but where when we got back, I just sort of felt like, bloody hell, this is hard work.
Yeah. And nothing came from that trip either, did it, at all?
No, other than quite a few kind of neat historical sites that we were able to see.
That's good. Yeah, well, good. If you're into history, go to Nuremberg. It's really good. Go to the Valley area. That's a nice city. But yeah, I'd say another low point for me was going. basically running out of money and having to try and find a job on the side, which didn't happen in the end because I ended up flipping stuff from Costco, which is a good way to earn some money if anyone wants to try that. From Costco on eBay.
Please go into that story more because it's a good one.
Which one, the Costco one or the Deliveroo one?
Well, both. I think set the scene. Like we got to a point where we got to probably September, October in our first year.
Yeah.
About 8-9 months in, and we'd not made any money. We'd not really done that many sales. Turnover was probably about $5,000, something like that.
Yeah.
For more than half a year, which obviously, that's just turnover. Like, it's not to live on. You can't live on probably $5,000 in half a year, but that's just turnover. So then it did get to a point where we'd sort of, gone through our savings that we'd saved up before leaving work, and we were living off that for the time being. And then that sort of started to dry up, and you're like, well, we're not making any money. Where do we go from here? And it did get to that point where kind of like it came that close to, what do we do? Do we get part-time jobs or full-time jobs or whatever? Shout out to Tom Bennett, by the way, from the second episode, who went into what it's like to work and start a business. I mean, thankfully it didn't get to that point because we sort of turned a corner at that point. We were able to start paying ourselves a little bit and making it work. But there was a real kind of danger of not being able to focus on the business full time because of money.
I think I did. I think I might have said to you at one point, I need a full-time job.
Yeah, you did. I remember it. I mean, I think I might have saved up slightly more than you, so I might have had a little bit more. In fact, no, I earned a little bit after you, didn't I? From a bit of work that I picked up after I left company shop. But yeah, so you turned to Deliveroo. How did that go?
I don't want. Yeah, it was good. It was good. That's actually my low point. Yeah, I forgot that I'd said that. I actually did. I had no money left, but then thought, how can I make? I just thought, I can't do a full-time job. This is just going to be. It's just going to not work. So yeah, no, I turned to Deliveroo, which if I wouldn't. I went for an interview at Deliveroo, or what was it called, onboarding session? But anyway, it was in the Big Yellow Storage, Big Yellow Storage in Sheffield City Centre, which I thought was weird when I got the email. I was like, what we're going to be doing, sat in there, all stood around in in a unit.
Well, not even that, the car park of.
Yeah, and then
it
turned up there. Because we had that free city centre office, didn't we? So it was just down the road. I turned up there, and everyone was like stood around, and it was like, you'll go up to people and you're like, are you here for the Deliveroo thing? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, where is it? And he's like, oh, he's over there. So it's this lad sat in his car, like this BMW, and he's sat in the driver's seat, and you'll go up to him with your forms and stuff, like you drive a copy of your driver's license, just give it to him, and he goes, yeah, sound. I went to do it, but I didn't have something. I can't remember what it was. I don't think I had my insurance, because you've got to, if you want to go into doing Deliveroo with your car, you have to have food courier insurance or something. You have to change your policy, which I hadn't done. So I'd given him, and he told me that, and I was like, all right, I'll do that then and come back another time. I just left that thinking, what am I doing? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, what on earth is that all about? So it was shoddy, really. And then I thought, I've got to think of something else here because this isn't going to happen.
Sorry to cut you off, but a long time before social distancing as well, that you were passing forms through a guy's car window.
I don't know if they mustn't still do that, but it was absolutely. If anyone's experienced that, please please email us or DM us. That'll be funny. But yeah, it's ridiculous. So yeah, started going to Costco instead. I went around Costco with their eBay app where you can do the barcode scan and scanned loads of stuff to see how much it sells for on eBay, how much they sell it in Costco. It's pretty slim pickings to be able to do that, to be honest, in Costco. It's not that cheap, really. But I found these like Adidas Under Armour pants that you go running and stuff. And yeah, it was a diamond in the rough in Costco, and was just flipping them like £8 on top of the purchase price and drop shipping them every time. I put them up for sale on eBay, a really nice listing on there that looked great. And then whenever someone placed an order, I'd go to Costco, buy it, and post it out. I made some money on the postage as well, so that held me up, actually.
I remember that quite well, actually.
Yeah.
We had a small like unit, like basically the size of a garage at that point, and 2 desks in one corner of it, and all of our stock around us. By all of our stock, I mean like just a few pallets, whatever we had at that point. And I remember Paul sort of getting out of his seat and dashing off to Costco and coming back with like a carrier bag of box of briefs to pack and post out.
Yeah, that's when we started getting somewhere. I think when we'd moved to that unit in Manvers, which is North Barnsley or wherever it is.
Yeah,
we started to get somewhere then, didn't we? Because we had that little startup loan as well, which was actually really helpful. We'd recommend them. So what are they called? Startup Loans Company.
Yeah, I think so. If you Google startup loans, it's on there.
That helped massively, I think. And we started to go places then. We'll take little steps towards taking some sort of wage.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's in terms of low point, I think the website and probably, I don't know, website and running out of money jointly were like the lowest points, I think.
100%.
For sure. Because I think the Brexit thing now, we can kind of, although it's disappointing, we can at least look back on the fact that we've, overall, like the picture is positive and healthy. Whereas then the things going wrong was like, well, we're not actually getting anywhere at this point. So yeah.
Good. Next question. We've already answered this, but I'll shout him out anyway. Jamie's Diet Guide is called Jamie Wright. He's been writing some blogs for us, people may have seen. How did you guys get started? We've answered that, but thanks anyway for the question, Jamie.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie, and thanks for your hard work on the blogs as well.
Yeah, they're amazing, aren't they?
Go and check them out on our health and lifestyle blog section on our website.
Podcast is this is from Chiron Cornt at Chiron Cornt on Instagram. Podcast is rate good. Cheers. He must be from Yorkshire. Do you like working with startups? I'm not sure what he means there. I assume he means like buying stock from startup brands.
Yeah. So I think the answer to that is yes. We do. Because we were one ourselves, not so long ago. Well, we still are, really, I suppose. What are we, 3 years in? I don't know. Are we a startup? I don't know.
Probably not.
It's within very much within memory anyway. And startups are generally like pretty good and pretty easy to work with. You get generally to deal with the founder, and you get you can get a sense of their passion for the product they've created in terms of supplying us. Obviously, for us, like, people look out for the well-known brands, but there's quite a few, maybe more startup or challenger brands that work really well for us. And if we'd not engaged with those kind of startup businesses, we wouldn't have those good products. So yeah, I think we love it, and I don't know if this question extends to kind of working with other startups in a kind of passing on our experiences and our learnings kind of capacity, but we always look for opportunities to do that as well. Not that we're positioning ourselves as any kind of experts or anything like that, but I think anybody that's started a business has got at least some learnings and stuff to share, and if we can share any of ours, then that's a good thing. We've always got time for that.
I haven't got anything more to add to that, mate. That's spot. I'm gonna rifle through the next, because you just went a bit crackly then, so I'm worried about your internet. I'm going to rifle through the next 3 to 4 questions. Keep them. I'll answer this one. So Alex Linnell, who is a friend of ours and a friend of the business.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks for the questions, mate. Really appreciate it. And good to chat to you last week as well. So was Food Circle, by the way, Alex's handle on Instagram is Alex S.J. Linnell. So was Food Circle always going to be called Food Circle? No, it wasn't. It was we had loads of different names. Like, we wanted to keep it like have some sort of retail and food in there, but also make it about the environment, because obviously it's surplus food, so it had to have a unique spin on it. We've had I remember was writing down on an A4 sheet, like, Earth Circle, Earth Retail, the Earth Company, all sorts of stuff like that, and then had like food and circle, and then my dad said Paul's Food Circle, didn't he? Because initially it was just going to be me before I pitched the idea to you. And I was like, I don't like Paul's Food Circle. I don't like having my name in it, but I like the Food Circle bit. And then, yeah, that's where it came from, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we've always, and I think we've spoken to people that sort of don't like it or whatever, but I think it's worked well for us, and I think we've always tried to focus it around the circular economy sort of principle. And we did a post on Instagram actually recently about the kind of origins of where we thought of it from and what our logo means and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think in the surplus industry, I suppose there is kind of a bit of a, I don't know, not a stigma, but not everybody wants to be associated with discount, I suppose. It's a word that I'm hesitating to use because we do sell at a discount. We sell cheaper than most retailers on most of our products. So I think we wanted to keep the focus around that circular economy thing of actually there's more to this than just cheaper than usual or short dated like protein bars or whatever it might be. There's a wider message around it.
Yeah.
And I think that's important because it's important that for the brands that we work with, especially, that consumers know why we do what we do. Because if you just see, I don't know, a case of grenade bars for 14 quid when you'd normally pay £2.50 a bar, which is what, 30 quid ish, you might think, well, what's the deal? Like, why am I paying £2.50 a bar in my like local supermarket or whatever it might be? So I think it's important that we have that message around it as well as to why that is. And it's not because you're being overcharged elsewhere for these products. It's very much because we're tackling waste and tackling surplus products where retailers require a certain amount of life. That's usually the reason that we get it. And once it drops below that life, it's kind of still in date and perfectly healthy and perfectly good to eat. But retailers, for whatever reason, that can be a very valid reason, they won't take it anymore.
No.
So I think we've gone off on a bit of a tangent again, but I think we always tried to incorporate something around circular economy and the environment within our name. So I think once we hit on that, we've been reluctant to change it, and it seems to work well for us. And actually, the supermarket bit, we thought about dropping that recently when we redesigned our logo, and that's something I was in favour of because I thought it sounded snappier and better. But we put it out to our customers, and they liked the supermarket bit and wanted us to keep it.
Yeah,
so we can't argue with that.
60-40, wasn't it?
Yeah, 60-40 in favour of keeping it. So who are we to argue with that? If it's something that customers think works, then we live and die by our customers, don't we? So
absolutely do. I'm going to try and hurry this up. I've had a question from a customer, but I can't remember what her name was. I'll try and find it whilst you answer it. What type of protein bar would you make if you had the chance? Like what flavour and stuff?
So I think we've touched on this in a live before on Instagram Live. I think that's still available on our Instagram feed. Am I right?
Yeah, it will be. Yeah,
as an IGTV. So, well, first of all, I think from trying quite a lot of protein bars during my time of doing this, being part of this business, I think one of the things that, like, the key things that make the best ones for me personally are like soft or like gooey filling inside.
Yeah,
I'm thinking specifically about the Warrior Crunch bars that we've got in recently, which I think are
so good.
Up there with the best in terms of like taste and texture and stuff like that. I think they're amazing. The key lime one especially, and it's got like crunchy outside, and then it's like soft, gooey filling. So I think if I was going to make a protein bar, I'd try and follow that kind of formula because I think that's the best way. I think they're the ones that tend to be the best in terms of flavors and stuff like that. I think I would think about confectionery that I really like, sweets and chocolate that I really like, and kind of can they be replicated in a protein bar?
Biscoff.
Please. Yeah, I love like Star bars and anything peanut butter.
Oh yeah.
So if I could replicate that, but in a protein bar, I think that's something that I'd look at. And nostalgia as well. Like nostalgic sweets and nostalgic chocolate and stuff.
Pink Panther
Pink Panther
protein bar.
biscuits.
That'd be brilliant.
I always go on about this, but that's like for me. If I think of like childhood like favorites, that's one of them. So if someone can make a Pink Panther wafer protein bar, I think I'd be all over that.
Yeah, I'll be up for that. I'd have an Lotus Biscoff one. This question was asked by Tony TONI0192 on Instagram. Thank you, Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
That's a nice fun question. Well, should we have one more, or do you want two more?
Whatever. Let's keep going.
Right.
Am I still connected? So it seems stable.
No, yeah, it's fine. You went a bit at one point, but it's okay now.
Okay.
Right, two more then. This is from another one of my friends. This is a different one this time, who I won't mention because he's employed.
Let's give him a fake name.
David. Okay. Thank you, David.
Thanks. David.
Future plans for the business, short and long term. So short term, I'd say is more brands, obviously. Few more categories. So we're doing more in the vegan space at the moment. We've been speaking to some really big companies. One that we probably can't discuss, which would be massive, basically. I don't think we can talk about. Another one that we probably can. People saw on our story this week from Coca-Cola Enterprises. We're in contact with them about, in particular, Monster Rain drinks, which we think could go really well with our fantastic customers. So, new brands like that, that's the short-term plan, and, expanding. Obviously, people are going to say more grenade bars. Yes, always.
Yeah.
But, that'll come when it comes if they have more surplus for us.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I think another thing is kind of for us, like internally, it's building our team out more so that we've got people doing what they're good at, specializing in certain things, and freeing us up to kind of be creative and keep progressing with the business and bringing in new things and new ideas. So I think we've seen like glimpses, or we've tried out some of the stuff that we're thinking about lately. Like I'm thinking mystery boxes.
Yes.
More stuff like that.
Subscription.
Probably subscription. Loyalty points and schemes and stuff like that, which we've started to do, but we can probably put a bit more thought into that and think about how we can grow that and take it to the next level and stuff like that. So yeah, I think short term we've got a few like ideas that are already bubbling away and we're already trying out that we want to expand on.
Yeah, long term is to be a proper surplus food retailer.
Yeah. I mean, we are a proper surplus food retailer, but I think you mean more like a wide ranging,
yes,
broader appeal, more categories, more products, more brands. Maybe not just to focus on protein and sports nutrition and health products, although that will remain because it's served so well.
Mm-hmm.
We've got customers that want that, but we want to offer other things as well and be more things to more people. I suppose that's like the way that we see our business growing and progressing further.
Yeah. We want to be the Ocado of surplus food. That's always the aim since day one, still is. And if there's anyone listening out there that can help us to get there, any brands or whatever, I think they might be able to help us, then yeah, give us a shout. But I think it will happen. It's just going to take time, like anything. So yeah, that's the long-term aim. So thank you for that question, David.
Yeah, thank you.
Last question. This is from our friend John Davis.
Yes.
Will there ever be a boy born who can swim faster than a shark?
I'll let you answer
that. Will there be a boy born that could swim? Probably not. No. I mean, they can go pretty fast, can't they? I mean, they're literally built to glide, to go through the water like knife through butter.
Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about ever, like in the whole of humanity's existence, we've got athletes and swimmers that can move faster than they've ever been able to move before.
Sharks will probably be extinct by the time it can be possible the way it's going. People wanting fins in a soup and all that rubbish.
Yeah, evolution. Evolution. We might have humans with fins long after we've gone and vacated this fine planet.
Thanks for that question, John. We've got a bit deep there, haven't we? We got quite philosophical.
It did to say it's an office joke. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, if you've not seen The Office, then feel free to skip through that question. But if you have, then I'm sure you will have enjoyed that.
It's a bit late now. They've listened to it.
It is, yeah. It is a good point. I think that's about it on the questions, mate.
Cool. Is there anything else going on?
Who have we got next week?
Yeah, so next week, episode number 6, we are speaking with Andy Needham, who is the founder of Approved Food and Morrison Sons, or he's the owner of Approved Food and Morrison Sons. And yeah, another surplus food company, big inspiration to us, another e-commerce business as well. So I'm sure there's loads of stuff that we can cover with Andy, but, great guy, been a massive help to us since we started up, being in, a very similar arena and stuff like that. And one of those people where it's not like, I can't talk to you because you're doing a similar thing to me. It's always been he's always been very open to helping us out and collaborating and all that sort of thing. So it'd be great to speak to Andy, get his views, get his insights, and also hear about Morrison's son and how he got involved with Approved Food and some of his other business ventures as well.
Yeah, now that will be a good insight because they've just had their millionth order Approved Foods and online retail. So if you're looking out there to start your own business, then Andy's he'll have a lot of stuff. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah, and actually a bit of a benchmark for us really in terms of where we want to go, in terms of categories and new products and sort of diversifying our offering a little bit. Or a lot, because Approved Food, you can get pretty much anything on there, can't you? From biscuits to fizzy pop to pasta, chocolate, drinks, whatever. They've got a huge wide range, and that's something that we're sort of trying to work towards as well. So and probably more to come on the best before date stuff as well.
Yes, that'll feature heavily next week. Look forward to getting his thoughts on that, actually.
Yeah, because Approved Food, for people that don't know, do sell past best before date. For anybody that doesn't know, the ins and outs of it, that is absolutely allowed. It's fine. And as we touched on earlier, it's about food quality and stuff like that. And they actually put lots out there about that, and try and help to educate people on. I think I've seen content from them before around, here's a packet of biscuits that's in date, and here's one that's technically out of date, and showing the difference or lack of between the two. So that'll be really good.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Before we sign off, hopefully this sound's been better this week. We have invested in new microphones because we just thought the sound wasn't great on our first ones, but hey, you live and you learn. What we're using, James, we've got Blue Yetis, because I know people will be interested in this. People are interested in sound engineering and all that sort of stuff, aren't they? And if you want to do your own podcast, this is what we're using.
Yeah.
Is there a version or anything, or is it just Blue Yeti?
I'm not sure. We can find out and put it out there if anyone's interested, but I think we're yet to fully nail how to get it working when we're in the same place. But remotely, hopefully this is a lot better than it has been before.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, it's really good. So thank you, James. I'll let you get on with your Sunday.
Yeah, you too. Thanks a lot. And thanks to anybody that listened, and we'll catch you later. Please like.
No, you don't like. Do you like a podcast? No, please subscribe and review the podcast on all. So we're on everything. As you people will know that listen to this, will know what we're on already.
Yeah, and feedback's welcome as well. We've got a contact form on our website where you can get hold of us if you've got any feedback for us on the podcast, or social media, DMs, whatever it might be.
See you next week. Thanks, everyone. Hope you enjoyed.
Yep, thank you.